out here, okay? We'll do the motions first, and then I'll work on the applications on the back there. We'll switch back and forth. That's 4 altogether. We'll start out with the longest range one and the shortest range one. Last Sunday, I was attacked by Corey and Enrique out here, okay? And I was forced to defend myself. So these 2 combinations are what I use. The first one, I call it an eye combination. It's a loop. It's good for a long blade, and it's just as good for a stick. What's up, man? It's not something you do with a knife. Okay? You can use a lot of different footwork with it. I usually use a saber shift.
Right, sit down, watch what you're doing.
So I'll move a couple different ways with it. The motion is a cut up, which is usually an intercepting cut against the forehand. All right, which makes it ideal for a blade. Here, and then I loop to here. Okay, so the loop could go, I could attack that, and then if he stops, I can come back in. I could beat, and if he keeps coming, hit with that. Now, when I pull this other leg back, when I pull this back, I'm pulling through with the stroke. When I pull this back, I'm pulling through with the stroke. It actually adds to it even though you're going backwards. So this is a lot more fun than boxing. You can hurt somebody going backwards, not be Ray Robinson. So, or I could go here, I could do a step and drag, and then I could do a side step and let my loop go this way. Here to here, or I could go here to here. It's the same thing. I'm looping around his head. You're not going to hit with both of these. It's very unlikely. I finished all 3 sword fights with these guys just last Sunday with this cut. Okay, this is ideal. Okay, this is the kind of cut you do with a lot. This is more like a machete cut here. Okay, and you don't want to just come with something like this if he's got a blade, because then this happens. So you can, if your blades collide and his blade's going past, then you maybe want to truncate it, make it shorter, and come in like that. Okay, if he's looping, then maybe you want to step out and loop higher. Okay, so both of these fellows fell victim to this, so they're going to be first in the queue defending against it. Okay. Remember that this makes it more powerful than just standing there, even though you're moving backwards. It's kind of counterintuitive. The farther your body drops with your backward shift step, these are saber techniques. So that makes it more powerful, this draw step. All right. You can do it like this, okay, and then look that way. I could go here and then here. And come back in. If you step wrong, it's just not going to work. Okay.
Well, you got to work on your focus.
Okay, so you know, a lot of it is the call. Who reads who? Okay. So the basic technique is we're going with the knuckle. So this works with a blade. It's like it would be a single edge blade. You wouldn't use a double edge blade. You cut like that anyhow with a long weapon like this, because it would strip itself. So we're going up like this, and we're letting it loop. When we get up to here, we're breaking the wrist, and we're coming back down. So it's just this. And you can practice stepping with how you're comfortable. For when I go this way, that's usually it. I usually did that because I felt like this was going to get me buried. What I'm working on right now is stepping that way and coming back with this. I'm really interested in developing this because that feeds into my favorite stroke, which is this one. Okay? So the other combination is really a pure stick combination. You wouldn't fight with a sword like this unless you were armored and it was a straight sword. Okay? And it is, we call it a U combination. It's a shot, it's a cleave, it's a bury. You're just digging this thing in right here. You could dig it in with a step, or you could dig it in with a pivot. Now, if I hit him in the head, his hand's coming up, either as a weight block or a snake. If his hand already came up and I hit his hand, he's going to snake it. Okay? If I go for that hit twice and the guy's got any sense or any strength, I'm losing my stick. All right? So we go here, and then we let the stick drop, and we drag it across his ribs. That's to get his hands down. And then we go for the backhand. that's the power combination that we're going to learn on the bag. You learn your mechanics there, and then we'll do 2 mid-range combinations in the second half that we'll do on the bag there. And Gabriel will work on offensive and defensive applications of them. Now here, we'll switch back and forth. This is a brutal stick fighting combination, okay? If you do it right, I did it to Corey. I was actually touching him, okay? And I did it to Arik. It was easier on Arik because he was shorter. With a tall guy, if you're doing it to a tall guy, you have to get a hold of his shoulder so you can drop him down a little bit. And people have a tendency to scrunch a little bit when you go for their head. So you're going in here, then you're letting this drop there, and then you've loaded this, okay? You've loaded this leg, it's flat, this one's popped up. Now, I'm straightening up and I'm going for the headshot. Now, realistically, what happened when I fought these guys is they would catch this, I would hit this, and they would catch this. So I had to repeat it like I think 5 times on Corey until these shots here worn down. Okay, because he was sharp enough that if the guy's any good, you're not hitting him with all 3. Half of what you're throwing, or 2/3 of what you're throwing out there, is just to get his stick moving out of position so you can hit him where you need to hit him. Okay, so this is easier to pull off with a sword than it is with a stick because you get it done one shot with the long blade. With the stick, you got to hit the guy hard. You got to hit him. Oftentimes a lot. Okay, so the U combination is here, here. Now you can do it. If, let's say, Corey's doing it to me, he doesn't have to sidestep. I need to sidestep when I'm doing it to him so he doesn't bury me, okay? So I'm a bigger man than him, but he's got empty hand skills on him. So if I'm doing it to Gabe, even though I'm bigger, I'm not going to act bigger. I'm going to hit here, I'm going to get out, and I'm going to try to keep him away from it, okay? Now, it's important with a stick, when you come with a backhand, that it doesn't end up out here, okay? Because then he can just come in. You know, and this has got to be no good. So the stick needs to end up here, and this needs to come out. Come up here, Corey. And so this is a good